Hi everyone, welcome to Legal and Ethical Issues in Nursing, course 450. I'm sorry that the lectures were kind of spotty. They did not transfer over when we switched lecture video providers. So we're doing a quick little redo of some of these lectures. So anyway, this is my introduction. I'm Denise Pass, and here's my picture. Sometimes I use the webcam when I'm recording and sometimes I don't, but my hair's wet, so I'm not going to make you see my ugly face right now. So, this is just an intro to the wall. So here's a little bit on due dates. It shows you what, the time, when everything's due. There's going to be, more specific dates up by tomorrow, August 9th. So keep your lookout for that. But it shows here that your attendance is done with a trigger every Thursday by 11:55 p.m., including week 1. So make sure that you trigger on time, and a trigger is a meaningful post or when you turn in an assignment. So for this week, it's going to be your forum posts. Now, we have 2 forum posts, that's your discussion boards, per week. Your initial posts for each discussion board are due Thursday night, and then your 2 responses are due by Sunday, so 3 days later. If they're late, you will get a 0. If you don't trigger on time, you will be absent. If you miss 2 triggers in a row, you'll be they won't let you finish the course. So make sure you pay attention to that. And then assignments and tests. So the first case study is due Sunday, week 2 at 11:55 p.m. The midterm will open Thursday, week 3 at 11:55 p.m. and will close the following Thursday, the start of week 4. The ethical dilemma presentations due week 4 at 11:55 p.m. on the Sunday, and then the final exam will open Thursday, week 5, and close at the start of week 6. And I'll put more specific due dates here in the next few days. Make sure you look at the news forum, which is right here, and that's where I put all the important information. So make sure you check it on a regular basis. I post there at least once a week. So let's go over the syllabus. Okay. So here's the syllabus. It talks about, the course. This is an exploration on legal and ethical issues and concerns that relate to the practice of nursing and healthcare. So ethics can be tough because people a lot of times just equate it with like doing the right thing and oh, it's my morals and my values, but it's actually quite different. And there's a lot that goes into it, and it's actually considered a practice. So we're going to talk about the practice of ethics and understanding how to actually analyze and apply ethical theories and dilemmas to your practice. So we're going to talk about the sources of law, current applications in healthcare. We're going to look at standards of care, jurisdiction, and liability. And we're also going to look at like ideas of malpractice, negligence, the importance of timely and clear documentation, and then managing risk in healthcare organization. And I'd be curious to hear from all of you who work in risk management. So the course is designed to assist you guys in taking an active role with your legal and ethical issues where you work. So it's a 4-credit-hour class. It's about 80 hours of work outside of class. And here are the course objectives. And then the required resources. So we're using Guido 2014, the 6th edition. If you have a later edition or an earlier edition, that's fine. It's not going to affect anything. And then also some other methods. There's going to be some extra articles posted, some YouTube videos, and those are just to add support to what you're learning. This is full distance education. Classroom policy, so you are what you write. This is, online learning, so make sure we use positive communication and teamwork. Be professional when you write. And make sure you abide by all academic policies related to attendance, behavior, professional conduct. So look through your institutional catalog, and that includes plagiarism, so please make sure you read that carefully. So how you're going to be evaluated, you have your forum discussions. So each week there are 2 of them. They're worth 10 points each for a total of 100. In the grade, it includes what you write in your initial post and how you respond. Part of it includes timeliness, so if you're late in those things, you'll get points deducted. And all of them ask for you to use APA support except for the first forum post, so make sure that you pay attention to that because I do take off points. There's an ethical dilemma study, which we'll discuss, the ethical case study scenario, and that's 100 points, and then there's a midterm and a final exam. And here's the grading scale. Anything less than 78% is considered failing. We don't round up per the institution's policy. Okay. Here are our core values. We don't have clinical immersions. You don't have to worry about that. Here's the information on attendance policy and what it means to trigger. So make sure you keep that in mind. It's not just you getting on the course, it's you actually doing something meaningful. I want to talk to you guys about my late policy. I really don't accept things late unless there is a extenuating circumstance, and if you don't contact me about it, I'm just going to assume you didn't complete the assignment and give you a 0. What that means is I am not going to chase you down if you have not turned an assignment in. So if you forgot to turn in a paper and it's the last, and then the course ends and you get a 0, so most likely you'll fail the class, because when you get a 0, it really brings down your average. And you say, oh, you didn't tell me I didn't turn it in, it's going to be on you. You guys are adults. It's not my job to make sure that you are following the syllabus and paying attention to due dates. Now, if something comes up and it's an emergency, I will always give people an extension as long as you can show me documentation. So if you were sick, you had emergency surgery, something happened, pay attention to your work schedule, or if you had a vacation scheduled or something like that, you can contact me ahead of time. So we can discuss options about either turning something in early. But please pay attention to those things, okay? So I don't want to find out like 3 days after something's due that you say, oh, I had to work that weekend. You know what the due dates are now, and so you can look at your work schedule and contact me. Please contact me. I mean, you can contact the dean, that's fine, but it's not going to change anything. You still have to talk to me about these things. So make sure that you are reaching out to me because in the end, I have to be the one who's giving you the extension and all those things. If I contact you, please be respectful and contact me back. Sometimes I'll reach out to people and ask them for, to check on them, see what's happened. I haven't heard from them. They haven't turned anything in a while. And then they contact the dean, which is fine, but she just contacts me right away. And then says, make your decision based on what you want to do. I'll support you. So it's not going to change anything. Just go ahead and reach out to me. It's going to make everyone's life a little easier. All right, so let's go through week by week what we're talking about. So week 1, we're going to be reading chapters 1 through 2 and 5 through 6. We're going to be talking about Constitution in court and legal concepts. You'll have forum 1 and 2 due. In week 2, we're going to be reading chapters 9, 13, 14, and 15. Forum 3 and 4 is due, and so is the case study. You can see this syllabus is actually quite old, and it has the old due dates on it, so I'll make sure to get rid of those. And then week 3, you have the midterm due and forum 5 and 6. Week 4, you have your ethical dilemma presentation and forum 7, 8, and week 5 is your final exam and forum 9 and 10. Okay. So really quickly, I'm just going to go over a few things here. Here is information on the Learning Assistance Center. So if you feel like, oh, writing isn't my strong suit, make an appointment with them, especially for APA formatting, for writing, because I deduct points if that's not your strong suit. I don't know that, but I have to grade you based on the standard at which you're supposed to be held. So, and I get it, you know, if you haven't been in school in a while and it's time for you, you haven't written a paper in 10 years, you might be a little rusty, and so getting some help from the Learning Center is really helpful. It's free tutor. You know, when I was in school, I always took advantage of the Writing Center and had them edit my papers and help me become a stronger writer. All right, so this is information on how to use the library. They're really helpful resources. They're helpful with APA as well, and on how to research information. You really have to figure out how to use the library, how to connect to the library, and how to research properly. Here's some information on avoiding plagiarism, especially if you're paraphrasing or you're using direct quotations. You need to do this properly. Anytime you have an incorrect citation, it's considered plagiarism. If you don't paraphrase correctly, it's considered plagiarism. So please read through these tips. There's APA resources and how to format. You have your guide, you have Purdue OWL. There's no reason for you not to be able to correctly use APA format. If you use a generator, most likely it will be wrong, and I'll know you're using a generator and you're going to lose points. That's a really easy way to not get a good grade on a paper because you don't APA properly. And it's really important you learn how to do it, especially if any of you want to move on to get your master's. If you don't know how to write well and you can't use APA, you're going to have some problems moving on. So the rubric for the discussion forums are here. This talks about the case study and the ethical dilemma assignment. So the case study, you're going to read ethical scenario 14.1 on page 279 from the book. And you're going to discuss each information, and it's going to be an APA book. You need to have some support, so make sure you get your research papers out. Make sure you use APA format. And then the ethical dilemma presentation, you're going to present ethical dilemma that occurred in your healthcare organization, and it's going to be slides, and they're going to be clear and easy to follow. You're going to talk about the dilemma and situation, the principles involved, and then evaluate the ethical decisions. And make sure you just follow this rubric. If you follow it step by step, you are going to do well in the class. Okay, so that's it on the syllabus. If you have any questions, feel free to email me.